Here we go.
Well, day 2.
Day 2, High End Munich 2022.
How are you doing, guys?
I'm little bit tired.
Yes. Editing until midnight.
Yeah.
Then another busy day here at in the halls. I'm so tired. I'm full of energy.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
right
high
up
in your
in the
energy.
halls.
I'm sitting down like, oh, I'm sitting down finally.
Yeah.
No, but we did a lot today.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah, it was like a
Impressive.
diesel car. We had to get going, but once we were on speed, it was good.
Yeah, we started with
Yeah.
Dali at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It was auditioning of their reference speaker,
The core.
the Core, C-H-O...
Cora.
Cora.
Oh,
I have a photo.
C-H-O-R-A,
ik dacht E.
flagship.
Ja.
Last Water.
Oh, sorry, Core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Core.
Yeah.
He was leading her through the, to the speaker.
You did a good job.
He did.
Yeah.
And by explaining that, it was nice. You said, okay, you can design a reference speaker in 2 ways. You can make it a moon and you never get there.
Yeah.
So it's just a separate thing that's expensive and awesome.
Yeah.
But they decided to have it linked to their, let's say, to their
Epical
series. And they were really, it was their aspiration as well to have a reference speaker that was on, a next level epical.
Yeah, but they also had a reference loudspeaker in the past, and I've heard it in Denmark once on their own amplifiers even. I forgot the name, I'm sorry. And it was completely ribbon and
With
bizarre.
A lot of units.
Yes, a lot of
I think I
units,
saw it.
and it was mighty impressive, but completely unsellable. And I think this is, they learned their lesson with that reference loudspeaker, because this looks like a normal loudspeaker. It's like, I don't want to be rude, but it's like you put a straw in the apical and it increased in size. But it's a totally different system. But we recorded the whole event.
And the funny thing about this high end, of course, there has been a pause for a few years, so manufacturers have had their time to develop, and all of a sudden, it's all stuffed into the high end. But there are a lot of reference speakers that are larger than life, or at least larger than us, which were launched.
Big loudspeakers. Because
so we get to Audiophysic later.
Yeah.
And they all say, they all not boast, but they say, okay, what stands out in our speaker is the mid-range.
Yeah, they're all focused on mid-range.
But they have, of course, they have their own solutions for it.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see these parallels.
True.
But I think an example to give to Dali on the amount of detail.
Yeah.
It comes with rolling feet. So if you have to move it, it's so heavy you cannot lift it. So if you have to move it, it comes with wheels attached, so you can move it.
Like a grand piano. It had piano, grand piano like feet.
But they're not unique in that.
Okay.
Bowers and Wilkins did it in their previous 800 series as well, with the more heavy models, the 803, 2 and 800. They also have wheels. And I have to admit, it's an even better system.
Okay.
You can click it, and then it gets on wheels, and if you click it again, the spikes will come out and it will lift itself. That's an extremely cool system they created.
Well, the Dali car retails for 80,000 per.
Yeah. And it's a lot of money, but damn, that speaker is big and impressive.
Yeah. And they say it can be, it has 4 ohms of impedance, so it's very easy to drive, they say.
Yeah, and I know that from Dali. He's actually right, because all Dali speakers are easy to drive.
Yeah, and the demo was also with, it was with the...
It was the M23, and I can't say anything about the M23 because it's a really nice power amp, and they used it in bridge mode and a lot of power and stable power, Eigentakt. But I wish they didn't use the Blue Sound Note. Yes, it's a perfectly fine streamer, but I would have liked that they used a better streamer so we could hear what kind of refinement this speaker can bring. Because I heard some harshness that I know is not in the speaker but in the front end.
Yeah. So they chose to have two M23s. They could have chosen to do an M33 with an M23.
For example.
And then they would have a better streaming system.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But details.
Then
I think we can go to Audiophysic because that's another high-end loudspeaker.
Audiophysic Medeos.
Yeah. Now we can tell because we had an interview. Yesterday there was the introduction and we didn't hear a thing about the whole loudspeaker.
No.
I wasn't satisfied because beautiful loudspeaker system. We didn't know a thing. We didn't know the price. We didn't know anything about the technology. So we called and asked for an interview. And then you had your fine moment of playing some music.
We talked to the designer.
Yeah,
yes,
the designer.
one of the designers. Yeah,
one of them. And that interview is recorded, so we will post it separately. But wow, now we finally know what's so beautiful and unique about the speaker because it's the mid-range, like you already said.
No, it has 8 woofers on side. It's shaped like this from your point of view. So 2 sub-mid drivers.
Yeah.
And then there is the mid-range.
Well, it's a tweeter, a mid-range tweeter, and the completely new designed mid-range unit, which is made out of some bizarre foil with a what is it?
It's called it's a little bit like a spider, 3D printed.
That's like a waveguide or something.
It was a waveguide. Yeah, it was a 3D printed waveguide which was put on top of the foil.
Yeah, in front of it.
In front of it.
And back is the magnet drive,
yes.
the motor drive.
Yeah.
But the whole what I understood, and maybe I understood incorrect because I was busy with the camera. All drivers were spiderless?
Yes, that's an Audiophysic thing.
That's crazy.
They create their speakers without a spider. And even with that big mid-range, beautiful created, handcrafted.
Handcrafted, yeah.
Every single one is handcrafted. It's also spiderless. They can make the foil so tight and put it so tight in there that they don't need it.
They don't need a spider.
And the result of this work is that the movement of the speaker, when it gets, is very fast, and very free. So there's not that much energy loss when it's being moved. Which was also
with Lars
from Dali. Also, one big part of the story was how they tried to prevent energy loss.
That was a cool
thing. And get rid of the oil.
Yeah.
Because there's oil where tweeters flow in, or
they use ferrofluid to stabilize the movement of the unit and centralize the unit in the magnet. And they do it for a long time, and Sony used it as a marketing tool, like we use ferrofluid, but actually ferrofluid prevents the unit from moving freely. So they got rid of the ferrofluid in the tweeters and the other units as well, by the way. But you get an issue with cooling, but he tells it in far more detail. But it was an interesting story because both were
trying to solve the same problem in different ways.
Different ways.
Yes.
Yeah. Increased speed in the loudspeaker.
And, I think we had a very long interview with the people from Audiophysic.
Yeah.
A private interview.
Yeah, it was pretty
cool.
And
then they said, okay, what do you want to listen to?
Yeah.
And then you have the chance to listen to this magnificent system. Oh, by the way, there are only 10 units being made and sold.
One is already
donated
to a charity.
So if you want one of the other 9, you have to be fast.
Very fast. It's only, what was the price? 160,000
euros a pair.
Yeah. But okay, it's completely hand built and it's beautiful. And then we could choose a piece. So I took my chance and I said I want to hear something orchestral, and Adagio from Mahler's Fifth. They had it. They had a recording. Gustavo Dudamel, present on the NAS. So we listened to it. For people who don't know, it's music also used in the movie Death in Venice. Very famous Visconti movie.
Yeah.
And it's very slow and it's very intricate soft sounds made by the strings and big harps, which are dominant with big pedals.
Harpist is one of the few pieces that where they really can do
Shine.
something
Yeah.
apart from.
Yeah.
So it's very subtle but also very dynamic in the sense there are big dynamic passages in there. And it has to be almost floating in sound. So I wanted to hear what those Audiophysics could do. And man, that was amazing in the mid-range. The bass was a little bit off, but they said, we could tune the bass.
But we're still tuning it after yesterday, and they increased bass, but I said it was already
So
too
they
much.
wanted to know what you found, what you thought of the bass, and then okay, tomorrow it will be better or less. I don't know.
Yeah, they're tuning it back. But it is tunable, which is a good thing. Plus minus 6 dB, and that's a lot of correction.
So it was goosebumps all over. And then they say, well, if you stand between the speakers and you walk towards the wall, so you walk in between those speakers, which are taller than we are, by the way.
Yeah.
And you walk in between, then the sound moves with you. And the sound moves with you. And then you're standing in between.
It's crazy, wasn't it?
And it was like the same kind of sound and presence that you have, especially the spatial information that you get.
It was still there.
It was still there. And Jaap said, now I'm having goosebumps.
Yeah. I actually got goosebumps because it's such a bizarre experience to stand in between those loudspeakers and no roll off whatsoever.
Yeah.
Absolutely none. It was crazy.
But these kind of experiences is why you visit the high-end audio. This is why it's called High End Munich.
Yeah.
And it's stuff you never buy probably. Maybe some of you can, but we probably will never hear it again after this show. So that was very fine.
Unique.
But we also had another mega system that we visited from Estelon.
Estelon. Yes. I interviewed Estelon a couple of months back at Wilbert Hi-Fi in Utrecht. Now they had their new Extreme Mark II, and Extreme is definitely extreme in this case.
Really extreme, yeah.
The Mark I was already an exceptional loudspeaker, and he improved a couple of things, especially in the cabinet. So the whole cabinet is built out of two pieces, and the front element can now be adjusted in height
With the remote control.
with a remote control. But then I thought, wow, this is awesome, cool stuff. But it said, wait, I have another trick. You can actually move the tweeter in depth. And then I thought, I know another brand that does that, but you need to screw stuff and then...
Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson Audio, but you can't sit down, tune it in the seat. And with Estelon you can, because you just have a remote control and you just say, yes, this is it. So I think
it looks gorgeous.
Oh my goodness, that speaker is beautiful.
Like this. And,
So, but you know, I'm a tech nerd. You actually listened to it. I think from standing aside, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Pretty good.
It was pretty good. Yes, no, it was fine. What stood out is its sound signature is different from the other stuff that we hear here.
Yeah.
Most of the loudspeakers are very prominent in the treble, so they try to present themselves like in a big way. Even with Audiophysic, which is a very soft, rolled off kind of treble.
Yeah,
sound,
it wasn't harsh.
It wasn't harsh at all, but
no.
it's very present in the mid-range, the beautiful mid-range. Estelon is far more backwards in its mid-range, but the whole spectrum, it's gorgeous.
It's very coherent.
It's very coherent.
For me it was really coherent, and I like the MSB stuff they used for their demos. I love MSB decks. I don't know their amplifiers that well, but you said, yeah, MSB, it's not really your cup of tea.
No. I think with these, I mean, these speakers are so revealing
Yes,
that
they
you can hear stuff that you normally would not pick up.
Yeah.
But I think if you would match these speakers with some others,
DCS,
probably,
smoother.
yeah, then you will have a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
That's personal preference, of course.
But it's the same price tag, 160,000 a pair.
Yeah. But now we're talking about a matter of taste. I mean, I think Estelon makes the most beautiful sculptures. Even they're so well built. They use high-end stuff. I mean, it's not that they use off-the-shelf units for the. It's all Accuton, but made for their specification. I mean, realize Accuton is already really expensive stuff. And they said, you know what, your diamond tweeter, it's really nice, but I want this. Then you know the price will go up exceptionally. So it's also expensive to build. That was Estelon.
Well, and as we told yesterday, maybe we are focusing this high end on privately owned, let's say, privately owned companies.
Yeah.
That are, that have the passion for music and part of that. With these three companies, it's pretty audacious to make, to put money in investing in reference models, because I think, even though it may sound a lot of money for R&D, I think they don't make a profit of it.
No.
It's their R&D, and that they hope it trickles down in their models that are more reasonably priced.
Yeah, and let's be honest, a loudspeaker like the Estelon Extreme or the Dali Core, they won't sell a lot of them. I can't believe that. I mean, the market for a loudspeaker above 10,000 euros a pair is already really small. 160,000 euros is really small.
So we focus also today on something which were affordable within the range that we can afford.
DCS.
Well, some of us can afford.
No, I want to. That's a really short one, and then we go to system audio because I think you were pointing to that one. I talked to DCS. I was asking about new stuff because I didn't know there was any new stuff. I didn't expect new stuff, but it was a surprise. There's a firmware update for the Bartok, and Jung was with me, and he said, "Yeah, we got a new firmware update." Okay, firmware update, cool. But it transforms the whole Bartok. That's what software can do, and it's quite amazing because he said, profile 1 is the new one, profile 2 is the old one, and profile 3 is an alternative version of the new one. Okay, well, I'm a massive Attack fan, so Paradise Circuits. When I was listening, profile 2, wow, that's really good. Then I went back to the old one, I was like, what the fuck? The whole imaging went from this to this. And the new one is more detailed. For me it was a little bit too detailed. But then I went to profile 3, which is a lot smoother. And I said, now it's finished for me. So I would prefer new alternative one, because it's not that detailed and pointy and fast. But it's just nuts what software can do.
But we know that from Ilsonic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's software update and it sounds even better, and you have options, and and with your iPad you can.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So updated, it's marvelous, it's incredible.
Okay, and now to the back to earth.
Back to earth.
System audio.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, as you know, we reviewed the small speakers, active speakers from System Audio, and we went over there in the booth, and we had a conversation with Ole, their owner or the
CEO.
CEO, which is a man passionate about music and passionate about keeping things real.
Yeah.
I mean, we clicked somehow. It was a really, really good conversation, and there was one speaker that he was very, very passionate about. It was a wall-hanging speaker.
On-wall speaker.
An on-wall speaker. and saying
Active, WiSA.
that also again active with WiSA, so you can hang it on the wall and you can stream everything with a Platinum hub to it. And he said that thing is sounding so different and so much better than anything else, but I have trouble getting to convince people
That it actually works.
that it actually works.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, we want to try that out. Really.
So he claims that it it's like this. It's this thick and
It's a shoebox.
yeah.
With
He says, well, if you just mount it on a wall, it has to be a wall that's not as flimsy as the walls that's
Yeah, like here, this
But
is
if
nothing.
you put it on a wall, then it goes up to 20 hertz.
Yeah,
And the sound reinforcement increases with 60 dB.
60 dB. Yeah,
So you use the surface of
the back wall.
the back wall to amplify actually the sound,
Yeah.
like a studio.
Yeah, it's a trick from the studio. I think it's called the boundary effect,
Yeah.
if I'm correct. Yeah, and studio speakers are always in wall, because then you know what the reflection surface will be, what the diffraction pattern will be, and he uses that physics to make that on-wall loudspeaker, and it's actually pretty smart.
But their whole approach with system audio towards audio,
Yeah.
how they talk about it, how they think about it, how they want to keep it real.
Yeah.
I like it very much. Yeah, that's
That's a cool brand.
That's a cool brand. Yeah.
Yeah. Also still independent.
Also still independent from Denmark once again.
Oh man, Denmark is audio heaven.
I think the half of the stands here on the High End Munich must be
From
from
Denmark.
are from Denmark.
I think
somehow.
all Danish are here.
Yeah.
And
Going back to keeping your feet on the ground and
Yeah.
keeping things within reach, we also visited the stand of Volumio. We made a short film about it because lots of people, I think, know Volumio by name at least. They're a streaming software, an alternative to Room for a lot of people.
yeah.
But they also make their own hardware. They had one streamer deck, like a competitor to the Blue Sound Note. Actually, the same price point. It was reviewed favorably, but a lot of people complained about software quality on it. But now they have 3 new pieces of hardware. They have a new version of Volumio, for which the user interface is being designed by a Dutch guy.
Yeah, it's completely revamped.
Yes, completely revamped, and they will release the 3 new audio devices soon. One is a new Primo, which is also a streamer with a deck.
Yeah.
But they added a balanced out. So that's something which is very much in fashion right now, so that's probably why they do it. They have an integrated streaming amplifier, so you only need one box and put parallel loudspeakers on it, and then you have the whole package.
Nice.
And they have a high-end streamer. Well, high-end means it's roughly touching the €1,000 price point, but they really want to claim it as to be a streaming front end to high-end decks.
Yeah, it's cool.
So that's
the definition of high-end differs in this.
Yes.
This fair.
And Volumio is from Italy. It's from Florence,
Italian.
Firenze.
Cool.
And then we go to Atoll, France.
France.
Yeah, new
You
all-in-one.
talked to the guy.
I talked to the guy. It's a new ST300 streamer.
By the way, it was a tip from one of our readers. So thank you for that.
What? It was a Patreon member even.
Patreon member.
So support us, and we actually went to Atoll because he told us, if you're a Patreon member, we do that for you. Otherwise, no. Just kidding. No, it was a good, some good advice. I mean, they had a new streamer and they also had a new all-in-one, so it was an interesting visit. The ST300 streamer, €4,000, and it's actually a double ST200.
It's a double mono.
Exactly. So they doubled everything. DACs, input, output board, everything was doubled. No, not the price, I think.
No, sure.
But getting close. And the all-in-one was the INT. No, it's not the INT. How is it called at all?
ST, I think.
No, ST is streamer. INT is integrated amp. Well, it's a 300 series all-in-one with streamer, amplifier and DAC. And it was 5,000 euros, 150 watts per channel. What I like FET amplifiers, FET. And they use FET as well. It's like nice and fast and punchy.
It's FET.
It's FET, man. So that's Atoll.
Yeah.
They had two interesting new products just above the 200 range.
Then back to Denmark, Audiovector.
New loudspeaker. So it's not really exciting. No, it's a new, bigger model in their entry-level range, and the QR series is an interesting range for.
The entry level for Audiovector is still.
Well, they're very affordable. It's 1,300 euros for a bookshelf pair.
Yeah.
And it's really good. They make really good loudspeakers, and in that range, the QR range, they now have a QR7, which is a pretty big floor-standing model, and it was playing on really expensive amplifiers.
On a Griffin amplifier, the same Griffin that also powered the Audiophysic Medeos.
Yeah, something like that.
So that was a little bit off balance.
Quite crazy, but it played well.
Yeah, but he said that was the Griffin they use in the factory to voice all their speakers. So
it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah. And I think we're.
we can do Van der Hul.
Yeah, let's finish with Van den Hul.
And then
final. Yeah, Japan.
Let's finish with final.
We'll finish with final. Yeah. Van den Hul has a new grill phono preamp. They use less components to improve the sound quality, which makes sense. It's still a very expensive phono preamp.
Grill,
But the cool thing is, Van den Hul is famous for its cartridges and cables. The cool thing about this phono preamp is you can go in single-handed, out balanced. You can go in balanced and out single-handed without any loss. So they say. But get from balanced to single-handed and vice versa is really hard to do without loss. But he says they cracked the code to do that without any loss. The grill is of course their top of the range phono preamp, 23,000.
You have a balanced from a phono stage.
Well, you know better.
Yes,
I don't know anything about vinyl, so you tell them.
But I have to say that was a nice setup in the demo room.
Yeah, it was
because
really good.
They had
Diapason speakers.
Yeah, the big ones.
Which you always use.
Yeah.
And there was a turntable, the same turntable that we had for the reed for the digital
Reed
versions.
With a different arm.
Yeah, that
cartridge.
was yes.
But
it was the same setup or the same turntable. And they were just playing records and
he was just playing records. Oh no, this is
across this new phono preamp, and it sounded really great. I don't know how it would sound with a different phono preamp, but
me neither. But Marco, the guy that also delivered the turntable for our analog versus digital test, he was happy with the sound, and that says a lot.
And we talked to Van der Hul Jr.
Mark, and he's actually he will be in the footsteps of his father, and I like that.
I didn't know if we could reveal this news.
Yeah, well, otherwise he will call me and he says, why did you tell that? But it's cool to see a father and son in the same company, and the son being just as enthusiastic as the father. I mean, AJ Van den Hul is quite famous in the industry, and he creates nano carbon tube speaker cables and brainwave extenders.
Oh yeah, talking about those cables.
Crazy stuff.
I was touching the TNA yesterday. You were fondling those cables, I think.
Why? Yeah, I was quite impressed by those nano carbon tube cables. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine picking up a cable that cost literally 100,000 euros, lifting it and feeling absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It's really light.
Yeah,
but
they were pretty big.
There's no conductor. Nano carbon tube.
Nano carbon tube. That's it.
That's it. It was an off-world experience. It was really weird. Oh, finish with
Final.
the Japanese brand who did we finish everything? Did we go? We also went to TAD.
Yeah, but they're my new reference speakers. It was just cool. I have them in house now. Thank you. I'm really happy. I want to go home now.
They're in the box. They just delivered. Now, but there was some nice electronics as well.
Yeah, we're gonna review them soon as well. We're gonna review some TAD stuff for you, all you people. Our new reference speaker is in-house right now, and I'm here, and I'm really sad about that. But they delivered the pallet, 100 kilos in loudspeakers, and they will be installed on Monday. And we're gonna review some extra TAD stuff as well, because we don't know anything about their electronics.
But the TAD originated from Pioneer as their high-end pro audio in the 70s, and now they also, some 5 years later, they also went to the consumer market.
Yeah.
And everyone who we talked to this show, we said, okay, we're working with TAD. There was no discussion on
TAD
quality.
has absolutely no discussion about the quality
of
of
TAD. So it's on par
TAD.
with Japanese brands like AccuPhase, or in the
It's up there.
back in the day Nakamichi, so the big ones.
Big respect.
But to keep it in, to finish off in Japan.
Final
is a headphone brand.
Yeah.
They recently moved to Kawasaki, which is in the southern area of Tokyo.
Yeah.
And we had the premiere of two true wireless speakers, headphones.
Yeah.
One over ear and one in-ear.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that they did quite some job in work in the user interface. In let's say that you can adjust the EQ, and because they are pretty late in their the true wireless hype or mania. So and they took their time to really perfect the products and the interface and everything.
Yeah. Also driver development. What I got from the presentation is indeed they were pretty late to the market with an app and noise cancelling and the extra features that the other brands bring to the market. But they always focused on sound quality.
Yeah.
And combining sound quality with, for example, noise cancellation is quite impossible because it's two different worlds. If you enable noise cancelling in a headphone, you notice that the sound quality drops.
Yeah.
It's inevitable because you introduce anti-sound into the musical signal. That's something that just doesn't work. But they tackled that problem with better isolation, with how do you say it? The ear plugs that you use for your in-ears, for example. That's one thing. So they don't have to use very advanced algorithms for anti-sound for the noise cancelling. And I like that approach because I always said just turn off noise cancelling if you don't need it, because it will kill your music. The other part was the on-ear, or sorry, the over-ear headset, the new 8000 series, but we had to go.
It was limited edition.
Yeah.
For me, to be honest, it looked more like a gimmick because it had a new color, yellowish.
Yeah.
On the outside, it had a nice new suitcase.
Very nice suitcase.
And I know the D8000, it sounds amazing.
Really good. It's really good.
But I think the news is the true wireless because Final is an interesting brand in that it has headphones. They begin at €50.
Yeah.
So they're really affordable and they go on to 3,000 or so.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And they have earpieces that are really like jewelry.
Yeah.
And I like a brand that specializes in one thing.
Yeah, they just make headphones.
They just make headphones.
That's it.
They make in-ears, and now they're into the true wireless realm.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it must be good. So we are. When we test it, that's final.
That's final.
It's also our final.
Yeah. Well, this was day 2, end of our road. I think
what's the overall feeling that you have after you've been many times to these shows? This is
Your 10th show,
it's my 10th.
10th anniversary.
Yeah, the 10th anniversary High End Munich. Yeah,
so you'll get a medal when you
probably.
but this was the first one after the COVID period.
I felt a new energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people were really happy that they could exhibit their stuff again. They had new stuff to show, and they really wanted to show it. So I felt a nice energy this show.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I was feeling good as well, being here and walking around and meeting the people again behind
Getting
the brand.
COVID.
Yeah, it's something
We
you
all,
need.
we all are positive now.
Yeah, probably. But well, yeah.
We don't care.
We don't care.
We're vaccinated.
Yeah. But you need to speak to the people behind the brand to get a feeling with the brand.
That's true.
And
Yeah, that's for you, I think. You're maybe. No, I'm not going to speak for you. Well, for me, yes, I think the energy was palpable. Really, you could feel it, and the heat as well. It was very very
It's
hot.
very well.
really hot.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, if you are away for 2 or 3 years, there's too much to show.
Yeah.
So I had also the impression that the manufacturers had problems of, okay, what are we going to demonstrate?
Yeah. Yeah, I felt that as well. Yeah, there's
So
too much.
there was an abundance of releases, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I think everyone is happy to be here. We met so many people again, and I think we are a good group animal, so we need
We need
beer hugs and not with 2 E's, but with E and A.
We need beer gardens.
This is what you need. And gatherings,
Yes.
apart from the technique. So places like this, fairs like this are important, I guess. More important, okay, we did some streaming, we did a good job with it, but this is also important.
For you, after 2 days.
After 2 days, it's very tiring. There's so much to see. There's so much impressions that are fired at you. The amount of people on the second day today and in the afternoon, it became really loaded in the halls. I don't know why it was, but it's too many people already. And I've understood that on the consumer days there are even more people.
Tomorrow it will be.
So that will be. I don't know if that's so nice in these very warm halls. But I got a lot out of talking to, interacting with people from the different brands, the engineers, the people who are running the brands, the cool people that you meet here, in the sense that they are very passionate about the things that they make, the things that they present to the audience, and the pride they have with their stuff that they are exhibiting here. And that's nice. That's nice to see. And no, streaming cannot replace these kinds of gatherings in that sense.
No.
But if you are really looking for something or want to compare stuff, thinking about it, then I don't know if a show like this will help you that much, because it's so overwhelming. There are so many things to see, so many things on display here. You get lost in it, I think. And if you know what you're looking for and you are targeted towards having an in-depth conversation, then it's really a good opportunity.
I think it's pretty cool for people that are a fan of a certain brand to talk to the engineers.
Yes.
I mean, you never get a chance to talk to I don't know, Arnold from Estelon. I mean, he's there.
Yes.
He's doing the demos. He's the guy that actually creates these loudspeakers. That must be really cool.
Yep.
And that's why a show like this can be very can be a lot of fun, but also very overwhelming. I have to agree on that. It's a lot of chambers.
And I think after 2 days is enough.
Yeah. yeah.
I mean, you can spend here weeks just trying to cover stuff, but that's impossible. So we have to make choices. We make the choices for you. We have tried to give you an impression of the different new stuff that's out there. We try to find the brands which offer something interesting for the people who are watching our channel or read our website.
I think we visited around 25 brands in 2 days. That's a lot.
And we see the really high-end stuff, which is unreachable for most people, but that's more like getting a reference on what is possible.
Where do we stand?
Where do we stand?
I compare
with
it
audio?
sometimes with Formula 1, you know. It's, you know, ABS was invented by Mercedes in Formula 1. And now it's in every car.
So you hear the stuff, you see the stuff, the inventions that somehow...
object is important for manufacturers to, you know, get out of their comfort zone, to invent everything that's possible. And
it trickles down.
Trickles down in the end. And then on the other side, the brands which are affordable, the things that we review on our website, the things that a lot of our readers could buy or would like to buy. We try to pick the cherries here, and I hope we succeeded in it.
Well, and the last thing, you know, I'm intrigued by why Denmark is so active in audio. But also we see in US, Portugal, we see Italy. There were also nice startups from Italy here. So it's all, and they're all, you know, they're apart from geniuses, they're also nice people and are fully dedicated in making the best possible product they believe in. And it's nice to see that they come from all over Europe. Let's stick to Europe now. And they do the thing. And I think also Poland,
a lot of them.
Latvia. There are, you know, places like the Munich High End is the place for these startups to present themselves, to get in touch with investors or whatever.
Well, on that bombshell, I think we let our viewers go. We're already 45 minutes in or something. Sorry about that. This was High End Munich 2022 for us. Yes. I hope we gave you some inspiration and some extra background information.
Leave your comments below.
And don't forget, all the interviews we did, we will post separately, and they will be on alphaaudio.net and alphaaudio.nl. So keep following us, and see you later. Bye bye.
Tschüss.
Bye bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.